Today, Gaming America is sitting down with Scott Butera, the president of Fubo Gaming, which is part of FuboTV. FuboTV is a sports streaming platform, and Fubo Gaming is its betting platform that goes along with it. So today, we're speaking with Scott Butera. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Thanks, Cameron. It's nice to be here, and appreciate your discussion about Fubo. And maybe I can just open by saying, you give reference to it, but at Fubo, we're all about having highly engaging, interactive, sports entertainment experiences, and we do that by a very, kind of rare combination of having an integrated wagering component built into our streaming services. And the reason we're able to do that is because our media company actually was willing to go through the sports betting gaming licensing process. So unlike other kind of media relationships where you have sort of a media company and they have a relationship with a sports book and they maybe advertise lines or things like that, and then when you go to bet you sort of leave that environment and go into the sports betting environment. In the case of Fubo, we're one truly integrated platform, so all of the things that we do on the streaming side are completely integrated and synchronized with the wagering side, which we'll get into. But that's how you get the distinction and combination of Fubo Gaming and Fubo TV.
I see. Yes, I do have a number of questions about that sort of integration between the gaming and the TV. But before we get into all that, I just wanted to ask sort of background question about yourself. How did you arrive at this Fubo Gaming in your career?
So my background is I've been in the gaming business for a little over 30 years and in various capacities. Started in banking and finance, and then actually ran a number of large casino companies. And then always loved sports. Got involved in sports. Just before getting involved in sports wagering, and could really see how the way people were consuming sports were changing. When I was younger, you'd go to a game or watch a game on TV, and you'd kind of sit back and enjoy the game, watch it, and if your team won, you're happy. If your team lost, you weren't so happy, and that was kind of the experience. And you can see that it's totally different today. Fans today want highly engaged, interactive experiences where sports is actually part of the entertainment. If you were to go to a live event now, you'd watch a game, but there'd be great food and beverage. There'd be people interacting at common areas. Some cases they have almost like nightclubs, in arenas. Great food and beverage, et cetera. So the world is really changing, and I could, kind of see that. And then just prior to joining Fubo, I actually was president of Interactive at MGM and set up the gaming experience, helped set up the gaming experience, which is now BetMGM there. And with a casino company, we used to host a lot of live events, and I could see all that interaction, like at a live event, and how sports betting was really enhancing live events. And I think if you look at some of the performances of the leagues and teams and some of the sponsorship revenues and the way sports betting really drives engagement, you could see that combining, watching sports with betting on sports was very powerful. So just after MGM, I joined a company called Victory, where we were creating a sports betting platform. And I'd actually gotten to know Fubo over the years, and they were growing, pretty dramatically. And they really became the leader in sports streaming. Right now we have over 100 channels. We do over 50,000 live events a year. We've just secured, certain league rights, that are very important to us. And what I, was thinking is that, we could recreate, on TV what I had seen work in live events, in that you had, kind of an interactive wagering experience where you provide, a different level of fun and engagement for people as they watch TV, almost recreate what you'd have in an arena. That could be very powerful. So a little over a year ago, we merged the companies again with this vision that, unlike other media companies, we would actually go all in, and all get licensed and really integrate this. So we have a product now that we're developing that's actually live in 2 states now that actually has that. We have features where if you were to pull up a game on Fubo TV and then pull up your sports betting app, they'd be completely synchronized. If you had a game on, that whatever was going on in that game would be on your sports book. If you change the channel, the sports book would change to that channel, and then it would follow the game. that really allows us to offer really timely, unique wagering opportunities that are only we're only able to do because of that integration.
Is this this feature, is this the watching now
It
feature
is,
that
yeah.
you're referring to?
Yeah, and that'll be one of many. We have a whole product roadmap of continuing to develop sort of these, like I say, completely synchronized, unique, timely wagering offers that will actually follow a contest, provide results of a contest. We have, if you're familiar with FuboTV and you pull up an event, we have things like Watching Now, which displays statistics. On the TV screen. We have multi-view, so if you're betting on several games, you can watch several games at the same time with these sort of layered in statistics and all kind of follow what you're doing on your sports book. So it's really kind of a fun thing to do, and it almost lets you monitor your bets as you go.
Will every streamed event on Fubo TV have these sort of features that align with the Fubo sportsbook?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, all the sporting events. That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we're, and it's not just, we're for us, so obviously, the sort of our plan is to obviously use our stream pool of streamers and try and, convert those streamers into wagerers, and then also use wagering to enhance our streaming. So part of the magic is, we have over 1 million subscribers right now. We're growing pretty dramatically. And go to that subscriber base, offer these experiences, and then get them to game. And then if they're gaming, obviously we, can, make money and revenues from the gaming revenue. But also what it does is it makes them watch more TV. It gets them to sign up. We get better retention. So actually, wagering is a great, product in terms of helping our streaming business as well. So it's kind of a symbiotic relationship there. And and it's actually something I learned in the casino business. And if you think about sports books and casinos, they were never really on their own big money makers. But what they did is they stimulated a lot of activity. So obviously around big events like Super Bowl, March Madness, if there were a fight, you get a whole flux of customers in, maybe for that week. And they're doing other things. They're betting on table games and slots. They're going to your restaurants and using your hotels. So it's it's almost like a stimulant for other activity, just as sports is. If you think about, people go to the Super Bowl and, they buy jerseys and they buy $20 beers and, they're interacting on social media and they're wagering now. So sports and wagering are both two, very highly engaging, almost like stimulating, experiences that get people to do more. And that's kind of the idea for us.
Sure. And I wanted to ask, because Fubo TV and with the integrated gaming content, you're kind of taking on two different competitors, two different kinds of competitor at one time. On the one hand, you have the traditional sports networks. On the other hand, you have the traditional, traditional, but mobile sports books. What challenges do you face in sort of standing out or taking on these relative behemoths in their respective fields?
Yeah. You mentioned taking on, we're really not taking them on. I mean, obviously they're, very large media companies, they're very large sports books, and they all sort of have their strategies, which, totally work for them. We're trying to do something completely different. We're trying to, yes, we are, kind of, following the trends of people as they kind of cut the cord and convert, to streaming. And we think there's a, continued growth, in that area, and we want to participate in that. But, really our idea is not to be, kind of a standalone sports book, and compete with like DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM. Again, this is more of a, entertainment, media related experience that has wagering, and we'll have other things we'll have as we look at our product going forward. Hopefully we have things like more social gaming. We have a free to play product. We will have peer to peer, and really it's about creating, kind of this gamified media experience, which isn't like a traditional network and isn't like a traditional sports book. It's somewhere that sits in between for somebody that wants that kind of experience.
And as far as your sort of income streams, do you get more from the streaming platform than from the sports book?
Well, right now we're growing. Right, we're live in 2 states. I think we've announced, another 4 states. We have a significant pipeline beyond that. So really, I think for the upcoming year, a lot of it is, getting live in states. We want to be a national company, developing our product.
Mhm.
So from a revenue standpoint, clearly the streaming side is much bigger now, but, going forward, the idea is, again, hopefully, people won't even think about us as a streaming company and a gaming company. The idea is we'll be one company earning multiple revenue streams, and both ultimately will be very important to our success.
Sure. And Fubo has had a lot of sort of media partnerships, branding or media partnerships. I was wondering if you could speak to the importance of these in growing
Yeah.
growing the platform.
Yeah, we have some really great partnerships in markets that we plan to be live in. Obviously the New York Jets in New Jersey, and we have a relationship with Caesars for sports betting. We'll be live there shortly, as well as the Cleveland Cavaliers in Ohio, and we have a few others, NASCAR and MLB and NBA, and I think like the Iowa Cubs we've launched in Iowa. And the beauty of these partnerships is they have great database of fans who are highly engaged in sports in those communities, and it gives us access to quick access to that community. Allows us to roll out our product. Obviously, people who if you're looking at a team partnership, these are people who obviously enjoy watching sports. And that's our customer, right? We want people who enjoy watching sports and then betting on sports and doing things. So really the benefit is, beyond just sort of, branding and recognition, and obviously that's helpful. Really, it's getting access to that community, which we think, demographically fits very well with Fubo's strategy, both for acquiring streaming customers and wagering customers.
Yeah. Since launching a year ago, the Fubo Gaming, I was wondering if you'd found any sort of any things you had to improve on since you launched and that you're working to improve on, because it's it's a new idea what you're proposing.
Yeah. We actually merged with Fubo a year ago. We actually launched in Iowa in late September, and then in Arizona sort of mid to late December. So we're actually just getting up and started. But what we have noticed is there is a strong reception for the product. So people who are sports bettors that have gotten introduced to the streaming product, that's gone really well. And the crossover actually has been higher than we've expected. The average bet has been a little bit higher than we've expected. So it's still very early, but in terms of doing our surveys and customer response, it's been going well. And like with the launch of any sports book, of course, we had a couple of weeks where we had to work out some kinks and things like that, but we're kind of through that now, and that just sort of is more just base product. But in terms of the experience and the interaction, we're at least cautiously optimistic that things have been received well so far.
Sure. And how are you planning for expansion? More partnerships, or you pinpointed markets that you think would fit for you?
Yeah, biggest thing for us, is to get live in more states. Obviously, we want to be live in states where we have strong crossover with our subscriber network and with our RSN network, so that we can develop that flywheel, if you will. So really over the next year, it's rolling out our platform into more states, as many states as possible, and just continuing to work on our product, test our product, find out what features maybe resonate better with the streamer gamer than others, and that'll really be our mission for the first part of 2022.
Yeah. What about iGaming? Do you see any role for that in Fubo's future?
Absolutely. We signed our first iGaming partnership with the Cordis Group in Pennsylvania. That'll be coming live soon. And we think we think all forms of gamification are important. People who like sports betting, like iGaming, I think to have a kind of effective iGaming platform, it really needs to be part of an ecosystem. To do that on your own might be tough. But if you have our goal is to have as comprehensive an entertainment experience as you can have, and that involves watching sports, betting on games, maybe watching games. I think there's sort of a lot of opportunity out there, and I think more and more the crossover between real sports and video games and all kinds of things are becoming they're kind of converging. If you think about what we're talking about, it's not very dissimilar than if you're playing a video game and you're on your headset and you're playing against maybe your friends or someone you don't know from Cleveland or whatever. It's an interactive, although it's scripted. It's an interactive experience revolving around a game or sport. And that's really what we're trying to recreate in live sports, is that, hey, we'll take live sports instead of video games, and then we'll create all these different ways in which you can interact and have fun and bet against the house or bet against your friends. And I think that, and it creates an opportunity for the more casual gamer. I think, it's still a very young industry, right? It's only been around a couple of years legally in the United States, other than Nevada. So I think sports betting was, always for these sharps and, guys who studied the industry 6 ways to Sunday, or people who studied the industry 6 ways to Sunday. And, it's kind of reserved for them. And now it's not more, now it can be fun, it can be casual. And that's really what we're bringing to the market, is that kind of, like I say, fun, experience where we can have content that we can, sort of monetize through gamification.
Sure. And it seems you're at a pretty good advantage, since you've integrated all these different aspects of the experience into a pretty seamless package.
That's exactly right. That's the idea. And that's why we went through, like I say, most large media companies, I can understand why they wouldn't want to do it, but we were, at the right size and at the right willingness to go through the gaming licensing process. And it was a big reason why, again, I thought the idea of combining with Fubo was important because of that. So I think it will be something that, maybe, very few others try and replicate. So at least for now. So, we do think that's, obviously a critical part of our strategy.
So you think you got there at a sweet point in time?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, who knows, but, certainly we think we're doing something that's, like I say, unusual and we think resonates with the, with the customer base.
Yeah, right. So for my last question, I just want to ask, where do you want to be in 18 months with this platform?
Yeah. I think, it's about, right now, it's about execution for us. So, like I said, we do want to be a national company. So, obviously we want to roll out our product in as many markets, as possible, certainly markets that are strong, in sports betting. So that's important. And then, just continuing to develop our product, develop features that, cater to the, streamer wagerer, learning more about what that customer wants. I think we want to expand beyond just real money wagering into other forms of gaming and communal activities. And just be thought of as, hey, when I want to, do something that involves sports, and Fubo, by the way, is a very comprehensive company. So we have, an equally impressive suite of, news and entertainment channels. And, what's interesting is we learn a lot about our customers. Our customers watch over 120 hours a month of TV. And not only do we know what they like about sports, we know what they like about other things. And we think about, what is this sports-minded person like? Well, I like sports, but I also like dining, and I like home shows, and I like travel shows. So we can kind of use those things too and figure out ways to gamify them. And this might be when iGaming comes actually into the play, because if you think about it, if you like watching Wheel of Fortune, you may want to play Wheel of Fortune, right? That kind of thing. So it goes beyond just sports, but really it's just taking, sports and entertainment, streaming sports and entertainment, and like I say, figuring out ways to gamify them, make them interactive, and ultimately monetize them. And if we can be thought of as the company, the go-to company for that experience, I think that's, where our goal sits.
I wish you the best of luck on your endeavors. It was very interesting to speaking to you. Thank you for taking the time, Mr. Butera.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Right.
Have a nice weekend.
Yes, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.